Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And before we actually jump into today's video, if you don't mind showing any support that you can by smashing the like button, dropping in comments, interacting with today's topics and stories and whatever you want to call them, and obviously subscribing if you're new as we chase down 16,000 subscribers. How long are we going to have the shit camera for? Honestly, we're almost at 16,000 now. They deserve better. And enough messing about, it is time to jump into the very first story of today, and that's going to be the continuation of yesterday's very brief video announcing that Alan McGregor is signed for the club. You know what I mean, we all talked about it, we're all excited. Well, most people, to be fair to you, I respect everyone's opinion that's going to take the time to comment in the video. Some people were saying, no, we shouldn't be happy he walked away. Okay, if that's the way you want to look at it, I certainly don't think he left like some of the others left. I think he was cashed in upon, if I'm honest with you. But the majority of people was absolutely ecstatic, a bit like me, that Alan McGregor, aka Shagger, is back at the club. So that obviously raises the follow-on question. That is going to be the very first topic of today, is who should be our number one goalkeeper? The start of next season. It's almost here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's almost here already. We've got our current number one goalkeeper in Wes Foringham, who's been a very, very good servant for us. You know what I mean? He's had, let's be honest with you, he's had some shit defences in front of him. Let's be honest, come on. As much as we want to diss him, we want to hype up Alan McGregor, the defences that we've put in front of that guy, fair play to him. Alright, well, we had about 12, 13, 14, 15. Who even knows how many defensive partnerships we've put in front of him? And I think he's always done himself justice. There's been some high points, some low points, but I'm not quick to write off Fods. It'll be an interesting summer for him. Obviously, we've got Anik as well, who ended the season very, very strongly after having some good appearances in the cup games. Had that horror show against Motherwell, fell away for the team, and then he's came back and he's ended very strong. Or do we have Shagger? I don't think we need to say any more than that, apart from his name. So that is the free, and that is the question I posted on Twitter. But I'm going to ask every single person who's watching this video right now to give your opinion down below in the comment section. Who should be number one or goalkeeper and why? Myself, personally, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love Fods, everyone knows who watches. I've talked about him in podcasts and everything. I really, really, really rate him. I think Shagger's going to be the number one goalkeeper by far. I think as good as Fods is, I just think Alan McGregor's better. And hopefully that doesn't seem like I'm dissing Fods. Hopefully it's more of a challenge to him to get better, because I'd love him. Can you imagine your goalkeeping situation if we have Alan McGregor and we have Foringham as our goalkeepers? What a battle that's going to be throughout the season, and that's going to push them to get better and better. I think Anik will go, if I'm honest with you, but the battle itself is going to be won by Alan McGregor in my personal opinion. But again, that doesn't really necessarily matter. What is your opinion? Use that comment section below. That was my opinion, and while you write your opinion in there, let's read what Twitter had to say. I said, who should be our number one goalkeeper? 1,204 votes in the hour and a half that it was up. Thank you very much. So, wow, oh wow. I never actually checked the results till now. Anik's got 4% of the votes, Fods has got 7%, and Shagger's somehow got 90%. Now that doesn't make sense, but I'm no lying. This Twitter poll was a fraud. Absolute fraud. I'm actually going to read out some of the comments as well this week. So, William Wallace says, Shagger with Anik on standby. I think Ford will leave in the window. He's been a good number one behind a dodgy defence, but I can't see us keeping him if a decent offer comes in, if I'm honest. Shout out to that. Ross Watson says Wallace. James Gilmer says Barry Mackay. Nah, I'm just joking. I would put my money on Shagger, to be honest. Bags of experience and player of the year for Hull last season. He's no here to warm the bench. Scott Young says, no doubt Shagger. As much as I like Wes, Shagger is a level above him. Exactly what I said, mate. And Stuart Ward says McGregor. And the last one I'll read out comes from Marcus. He says, number one, Shagger. No contest. His numbers are fantastic. So finally I've answered the question that I've been tagged in tremendous amount of time since Shagger was announced. CJ, who would you have as your number one goalkeeper? That would be Shagger. I'd love to keep Wes, but I think he'll personally move on. He probably deserves to be a number one. And the reason I say that is I think he deserves to be a number one goalkeeper somewhere. I think he's a very, very talented goalkeeper. If he wants to stay for the fight and challenge McGregor, I will absolutely love that. Still got plenty of years ahead of him, and again, he could potentially wrestle that back, because it's only a 2-year for Shagger. If he wants to take a couple of years, learn and develop his game a bit better, because he's a wee bit weak from like long distance. If he can put into that, become more of a presence inside the box, it could become a very, very good goalkeeper. So I wouldn't say it's all done and over for Fods. If he wants to stay, learn and battle, fair play him. If he moves on, I will tip the cat and say thank you for your service, mate. Anik, you blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why. What have I done, Anik? So let's jump over to story number 2, and this is going to be covering something that I've just been asked a lot to talk about, okay? We normally don't talk about rumours, but it's just Rumour United right now. The season's done, the predictions are all gone, the recaps are all gone. So what we've left with is crazy amounts of rumours, alright? I've heard the Skrtel stuff. I've heard the Lucas stuff. I've heard the, what was it, Jermaine Defoe. I've heard the Solonko. Is that that's not how you pronounce it, is it? Cut that out. I've heard the Torres stuff, who's away at Chicago Fire, sadly. I'd love it if Torres came, but he's away at Chicago. So what I decided to do actually in this part of the video is take Torres out because he's away at Chicago, take the guy's name I can't say so less embarrassment in the video, and I've just gave 3 options. I went Skrtel, Lucas and Defoe. That's a defender, a midfield player and a striker, and I just fired up on Twitter and says, who would you rather have? So again, just before I read any of this out, if you want to let me know out of those 3, if you could sign one of them, who would it be and why? Let's read out what people had to say on Twitter. 1,122 votes. Now that's absolutely brilliant because I fired them up back to back and over 1,000 people on the same day within the same minute. Thank you for that. So obviously the tweet itself, I just said if you could choose one of these players from the usual gossip mill, who would it be and why? So I went Skrtel, Lucas and Defoe. 1,122 votes, which is tremendous. Let's see. Lucas is 29%. Skrtel has 35%, but lead-in, surprisingly, is Jermaine Defoe with 36%. I honestly God thought that Skrtel or Lucas was going to win that. Defoe was actually my least favourite to win that poll, so tidy all day. So let's jump over to read some of the people's comments. David at Only Show in Town says, Defoe, we lack goals. Yes, we need better quality at the back, but goals win games. If we can't get Skrtel, I'm sure there will be others. Defoe is special, however, I want all 3. Lately, apart from Hibs, we haven't scored many with Morelos going off the boil. He may not be here next year, and we are thin up top. I don't disagree with any of your points, and I would happily take any of them. I think he was referring to some people saying we obviously scored the most goals in the SPFL. But to be fair, I mean, he answered the critics there because he got pounded for that, but he answered them very fair. So I respect that. Fair play, David, and it's a very, very good point. Goldie Jr. says, I'm not very convinced actually. Ibrox Loyal spoke about McBurney, raw on talent and a decent selling value if he does well. I know where I'd rather spend my money and wouldn't command such a hefty wage either. Very fair point. We've talked about McBurney a lot, and I'm really expecting that one to happen actually. Scott Young says, don't think our front line is a problem. We need to improve the middle to back, so I'd say Lucas. Okay, fair enough. Also, you can improve the back line all you want, but you need to have a defensive presence in your midfield or else the back 4 will look shit, which is again very fair, although my one wee counter statement would be, if we're going to drop McCrory, because he's our sort of CDM for the future. That'd be my only point with that one. Andy Wilson says, Skrtel, need another hard bastard in defence. He won't take any shite. And he said that his dad told him that. And as I always say on the channel, listen to your dads, because they're always right. So Andy Wilson, your dad's right. Ross Watson says Wallace. George Smith says Skrtel because we don't have a defence. Tom Arthur says Skrtel just cause. Am I even saying his name right? Is it Skrtel or is that the fucking Pokemon? SMP out says Torres. Daniel Slowy says defence. Craig 1872 says we have Morelos, maybe Cummins too. Defoe would be class, but I would rather have a player in a position we need to improve the most, and that's centre back. So Lucas, Skrtel is my choice, but I would love to get as Lucas just as much. So that is all I'm going to be reading out from that poll. So you can see it's very, very split, but I think obviously Defoe just nicks it, which I can understand. Defoe is special, and he really is special. A lot of people know that I like to watch Tottenham as well. They're my English team. Why do you like him? Gaza. Okay, Gaza. And obviously I've seen a lot of Defoe. He's very, very selfish, very like Morelos. He will shoot, but I think what the difference is there, Defoe 9 times out of 10 scores them. And even if you bring him in for a year or 6 months, whatever, you bring him in, you let him teach Morelos how to finish, that could be frightening if Morelos isn't off in the summer. Even helping Cummins develop his game, it could be a tremendous one. But if I'm honest with you, a lot of people diss it and they didn't want Skrtel. Bad fucking bite the hands off him. Do you know why? Because he's an absolute psychopath. Yes, Liverpool's always had a horrific defence and everything like that. They're kind of known for that. But go and look at him at Fenerbahce. He's an absolute lion. And they have some fierce rival games. And he certainly doesn't hide. He doesn't get bullied. He's very aggressive. And he just nails people. And I think that could be tremendous. And again, he's not over the hill. He's still got ability and he's still performing each and every single week at Fenerbahce. Will it happen? I don't think so. So before we jump to the third and final story of today, you know what time it is. We've not got the Orange Cup of Destiny because I've finally decided to wash it. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've not been sleeping right. So I've decided to go with Iron Brew, play it safe. So here we go, Iron Brew of Destiny, Iron Brew of Destiny. 3, 2, 1, sponsor break! Also, I just want to announce that Mark Menzies will be sort of sweeping the channel for comments because there has been some disgusting ones posted lately. I'm not going to mention what they are. They're just some vile, rotten apples that's been following the channel. I don't know where they've came from, but they've been writing disgusting stuff about that's all going to be blocked. Obviously, I reply to each and every single comment that I possibly can do. Mark Mendes offered his time to be able to help the channel, so he's going to be cleaning up. So for anyone that's been offended or anything like that with some of the disgusting stuff that's been posted in the comments, can only apologise. Me and Mark Mendes are on it. And just to be clear, when you see my channel replying to the comments, stuff like that, it's still going to be me replying. He's just going to be going through the comments and deleting the ones that should be removed from the channel. That's all. So shout out to Mark Mendes. As always, the third and final story / question of the Rangers Roundup is sent by the people for the people. And this week's question comes in from Jay Fletcher. It's really simple. It's really easy. And again, I like that because everyone can get involved. Jay Fletcher 1872 says, is qualification for Europe realistic? Simple one. I'm going to give my opinions down in the comments below, but that is the question of the episode. Is European qualification realistic? I almost forgot the question. Sorry, Jay. So that has been today's video on this week's Rangers Roundup. Hopefully you did enjoy it and got involved in that comment section below. I've been CJ92. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.